The tension in Atlanta reached a boiling point last night as Mendeecees Harris dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. Fans across social media were left speechless when he announced, in a shocking turn of events, that he was marrying Erica Mena. The news sent shockwaves through the reality TV world, and the reactions were immediate, intense, and, in many cases, heartbreaking. Among the most visibly shaken was Yandy Smith, whose emotional breakdown moments after the announcement has left fans questioning everything they thought they knew about the tangled web of relationships in this drama-filled saga. Emotions ran high as friends, family, and co-stars scrambled to process the unexpected revelation. Conversations that had been simmering under the surface for years suddenly erupted into public outrage. Whispers of betrayal and frantic attempts at damage control. Fans flooded comment sections with disbelief, while insiders hinted at a deeper conflict that had been brewing behind closed doors. A tension no one had predicted. The family was left divided, loyalties tested, and alliances shifted in an instant, proving once again that in this reality TV world, nothing is ever as it seems. Every glance, every text message, every secret meeting now carries the weight of suspicion. As Mendeecees' announcement threatens to unravel relationships and ignite a firestorm of confrontations. What led to this shocking decision? How will Yandy recover from this emotional blow? And what does Erica's sudden rise as the new center of attention mean for everyone involved? Tonight, we dive into the drama, the heartbreak, and the shocking twists that have fans glued to their screens. As Atlanta witnesses a reality TV moment that will be talked about for months, if not years, the night started like any other in Atlanta. The city buzzing with its usual energy, lights glinting off the high-rise buildings and the faint hum of late-night traffic in the distance. Inside a lavish penthouse, Mendeecees sat quietly, his hands clasped together, staring at his phone, the screen glowing with a message he knew would change everything. For weeks, rumors had been circulating, whispers of secret meetings, clandestine conversations, and hidden emotions. But no one, not even those closest to him, could have predicted the magnitude of what was about to unfold. Yandy, oblivious to the storm brewing, was downstairs, pacing in her silk robe, phone in hand, her mind racing with anxiety. She had felt a distance growing between them, subtle signs she had tried to ignore, but her intuition now screamed that something monumental was about to happen. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, Mendeecees finally stood, his decision weighing heavily on him. He had rehearsed the announcement in his head countless times, imagining every possible reaction, every tear, every gasp. The penthouse was silent except for the faint hum of a ceiling fan, a calm before a hurricane. Then, in a voice steady but filled with emotion, he spoke into his phone, recording a message that would soon shatter hearts across the city. Fans were shocked within minutes. Social media exploded as notifications flooded in, comments, emojis, and disbelief everywhere. The reality TV world had never seen such a twist. Yandy's phone buzzed incessantly, but she hesitated before opening the messages, a pit forming in her stomach. The first message she read made her drop to the couch, her hands trembling, tears forming instantly. Mendeecees is marrying Erica, it screamed in bold text, accompanied by a flood of crying face emojis. She felt the walls closing in, the room spinning, the betrayal so raw it cut deeper than she had imagined. Meanwhile, Mendeecees, sitting alone in the dim light, watched the notifications pile up, seeing reactions from fans, friends, and even family members. The pressure was immense, but he felt an odd sense of relief. The secret he had carried for months was finally out. The family was left divided, whispers spreading through every corner of their circle. Insiders hinted at arguments that had taken place behind closed doors, moments of jealousy, tension, and unspoken resentment. The betrayal was palpable, and the emotional stakes could not have been higher. Yandy, still on the couch, tried to process her thoughts. The tears streamed freely as memories of past conversations, promises made, and moments shared with Mendeecees flashed before her eyes. Her mind raced, trying to understand how everything had spiraled into this public spectacle. Her friends called repeatedly, offering words of comfort, but each call seemed to remind her of the heartbreak she now faced. Fans flooded social media, sharing theories, picking sides, and dissecting every possible detail of the relationship. Every post, every comment, every reaction added fuel to the fire, amplifying the drama in ways that were almost unbearable. The penthouse, once a place of calm and luxury, had transformed into a stage for a reality TV storm. Inside, Mendeecees and Erica celebrated in hushed tones, aware of the tension they had unleashed. Whispers of secret planning, late-night rendezvous, and carefully crafted messages to friends and family. painted a picture of a relationship that had been quietly developing under the radar. The excitement in their corner was palpable, but so was the weight of knowing the chaos that would follow. Elsewhere, Yandy tried to regain composure, wrapping herself in a blanket, sobs shaking her body. She replayed moments in her head, questioning every interaction, every smile, every word shared. The sense of betrayal was overwhelming, the emotional stakes higher than ever. Fans sympathized with her, sending messages of support, creating a wave of public empathy that only deepened the emotional divide. As the night stretched on, heated conversations erupted in group chats, phone calls, and private messages. Friends, family, and insiders took sides, fueling the fire and spreading rumors that seemed to grow with each retelling. Accusations flew, some baseless, some rooted in truths that had been carefully hidden until now. Mendeecees remained steadfast, focused on the future he had chosen. But the weight of the drama he had unleashed began to press heavily upon him. The public spectacle was only beginning. Every social media post, every video clip, every shared story contributed to a narrative that was both mesmerizing and heartbreaking. The tension between the characters was electric, the stakes higher than any reality TV drama before. Late into the night, Yandy made her way to a window, looking out at the glittering city lights below, her reflection fragmented by the glass. She whispered to herself, questioning how love, loyalty, and trust had all been twisted into this surreal, public betrayal. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica, holding hands, shared a quiet smile, unaware of the storm raging just a few floors below. The juxtaposition of joy and heartbreak created a tension that seemed almost unbearable. The city was alive with speculation, each new detail adding layers to the unfolding drama. Fans dissected every message, every post, every hint of emotion, creating a narrative that was at once chaotic and compelling. The emotional conflict was palpable, not just for those involved, but for everyone watching. Alliances shifted, loyalties were tested, and relationships strained under the weight of secrets finally brought into the light. As the first rays of dawn crept through the city, the drama showed no signs of slowing. Whispers of confrontations to come, arguments yet to erupt, and tears still waiting to fall painted a picture of a reality TV saga that had only just begun. The night had set the stage for chaos, heartbreak, and unforgettable drama, leaving fans and insiders alike on the edge of their seats, desperate to see what would unfold next. Every glance, every message, every heartbeat carried the weight of anticipation. The emotional stakes were immense, and the drama was far from over. The story of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy was now etched into the fabric of reality TV history, a tale of love, betrayal, and unthinkable twists that would dominate conversations for months. The storm had begun, and no one could predict where it would end. The morning after the shocking announcement brought no relief, only a relentless wave of messages, calls, and social media notifications that seemed to never stop. Yandy, still reeling from the previous night, sat in silence on the edge of her bed, phone in hand, scrolling through a flood of comments and videos. Fans had already begun sharing reaction clips, each one dissecting her heartbreak in excruciating detail, and the emotional weight of seeing herself through their eyes made the pain even more unbearable. The betrayal was no longer private. It was broadcasted for the world to witness. Every tear, every gasp, every whispered word immortalized in the digital universe. She tried calling Mendeecees, but he didn't answer, leaving her voicemail messages that went unanswered, each beep mocking her growing sense of despair. The city was alive with gossip, from downtown cafes to high-rise offices. Everyone seemed to be talking about the explosive revelation. Whispers of secret meetings, heated arguments, and long-buried tensions became the focus of every conversation. Insiders claimed that the relationship between Mendeecees and Erica had been intensifying for months, hidden beneath the veneer of friendship and social appearances. The penthouse, where Mendeecees and Erica now celebrated, was buzzing with excitement. Champagne flowing, laughter mingling with whispered planning, but a shadow of awareness hung over them. They knew that the fallout was inevitable, that Yandy's heartbreak would not go unnoticed, and that every friend, family member, and fan would soon demand explanations. Meanwhile, Yandy's friends arrived, trying to console her, but the room felt heavy with tension. Their attempts at comfort were met with tears, sighs, and occasional shouts of frustration. Emotions ran high, old grievances resurfacing as she vented, revealing a mix of anger, sorrow, and confusion that left everyone in the room speechless. The media picked up the story almost immediately, headlines screaming across websites and social feeds, each article more dramatic than the last. Mendeecees shatters hearts. One headline read, Yandy collapses after shocking marriage reveal. Read another. The frenzy only heightened the pressure on all involved, transforming a personal betrayal into a public spectacle. As the hours passed, tensions escalated. Friends and family of both sides began exchanging messages, some expressing support, others anger, and a few outright condemnation. The alliances within the social circle began to fracture. Loyalties tested as the truth or perceived truthy merged in fragments. Every comment, every post, every reaction became fodder for speculation. Insiders claimed that arguments had been happening long before the public announcement, that the cracks in relationships had been visible, though carefully concealed from fans. Whispers of jealousy, secrets, and hidden resentment painted a complex picture of intertwined lives now exposed to public scrutiny. Yandy, desperate to make sense of it all, confronted mutual friends in private, demanding explanations, searching for truths buried under layers of social politeness and half-truths. Each revelation felt like another knife in the heart, emotions oscillating between rage and despair. Mendeecees, on the other hand, tried to maintain a calm exterior in the face of the growing storm. He posted carefully curated photos and statements, designed to reassure fans and frame his narrative, yet the backlash was immediate. Every supportive comment was met with criticism, every gesture of affection scrutinized. Erica, standing beside him, oscillated between excitement and apprehension. The thrill of the announcement's attention was intoxicating, yet the awareness of Yandy's pain, coupled with the judgment of the public, created a tension that lingered beneath the surface. The family, caught in the crossfire, was left divided. Relatives took sides, some supporting Yandy, others backing Mendeecees' choice, and a few trying desperately to remain neutral, though neutrality became increasingly impossible. Heated phone calls, whispered conversations, and public statements all contributed to an atmosphere thick with emotion, anticipation, and confrontation. As the day progressed, Yandy decided she needed to address her fans directly. She recorded a heartfelt message, her voice trembling, tears streaming down her face. She spoke of betrayal, love, loss, and confusion, sharing feelings she had held in private for years. The video went viral almost instantly, garnering millions of views within hours. Fans were divided, some offering support, others criticizing her reaction, and a few questioning the authenticity of her heartbreak. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica's social media presence intensified. Posts showcasing happiness, love, and commitment were met with both admiration and vitriol. Fans analyzed every smile, every glance, and every caption, creating endless speculation and tension. The night brought no reprieve. Private conversations turned into arguments, friendships strained, and alliances solidified in unexpected ways. Insiders reported secret meetings between friends of Yandy and family members, strategizing on how to confront Mendeecees, demanding answers and accountability. The city seemed to pulse with the unfolding drama, each moment amplifying the stakes and intensifying the emotions involved. Yandy, feeling increasingly isolated yet determined to reclaim her narrative, reached out to former confidants, seeking validation and support. Each call, each message, revealed layers of tension and betrayal, the complexity of relationships now exposed in raw detail. Mendeecees, aware of the growing storm, attempted to maintain composure in public appearances, yet subtle signs of stress were evident. Fans noticed fleeting glances, tense smiles, and moments of hesitation, all analyzed in excruciating detail across social media platforms. The drama had reached a fever pitch, every conversation, every glance, and every social media post contributing to a narrative that was simultaneously chaotic, compelling, and heartbreaking. Whispers of confrontations yet to come, arguments yet to erupt, and tears, still waiting to fall, created an atmosphere charged with anticipation. The emotional stakes were higher than ever, the drama more intense than fans could have imagined, and the reality TV saga had only just begun. Every heartbeat, every breath, every glance carried the weight of anticipation, leaving fans and insiders alike on the edge of their seats, desperate to witness what would unfold next. The night loomed, promising more revelations, confrontations, and emotional explosions that would further entangle the lives of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy in an intricate web of love, betrayal, and public scrutiny. The following days were a whirlwind of chaos, emotion, and relentless speculation. Atlanta's reality TV scene became a pressure cooker, every character involved caught in the heat of a storm they couldn't escape. Yandy, still grappling with the intensity of the betrayal, withdrew from public appearances, seeking solace in her closest friends, yet even in private, the drama followed her. Insiders leaked text messages, screenshots, and snippets of conversations that painted a picture of relationships fraying at the edges. The emotional conflict was palpable, a mix of anger, sorrow, and disbelief that seemed to ripple through every interaction. Mendeecees and Erica, meanwhile, navigated a delicate balance of celebrating their announcement while anticipating the fallout. Each public appearance, each social media post was meticulously calculated, a dance of optics and emotion designed to maintain support while fending off criticism. Yet, even with careful planning, the drama had a way of slipping through the cracks. Fans dissected every smile, every glance, every seemingly innocuous post for hidden meaning, creating a frenzy of speculation that fed the firestorm. Family members, previously silent, began to voice their opinions. Some offered support for Yandy, expressing heartbreak over the public betrayal, while others sided with Mendeecees, citing personal happiness and the right to choose one's path. Heated phone calls and private confrontations spilled into public view, moments caught on camera or leaked online, adding layers of complexity and tension. The emotional stakes escalated when Yandy, determined not to be silenced, released another statement, this time addressing the nuances of loyalty, love, and trust. Her words resonated with fans who had been following her journey, amplifying public empathy and further polarizing opinions. Every conversation, every post, every leak became fodder for speculation. Rumors of secret meetings between friends, late-night arguments, and unspoken grievances circulated widely. Fans debated motives, alliances, and the authenticity of emotions displayed, turning the personal heartbreak into a citywide conversation. Mendeecees, aware of the scrutiny, attempted to maintain a composed exterior, yet subtle signs betrayed the pressure. He felt the stiff smiles during interviews, the brief moments of hesitation before answering questions, and the careful avoidance of sensitive topics in public settings. Erica, standing by his side, balanced excitement with caution. The thrill of attention and the validation of public support clashed with the awareness of Yandy's heartbreak and the critical gaze of fans and media. As the days turned into nights, the emotional tension escalated further. Private confrontations became inevitable. Whispers of heated arguments and reconciliations swirled through social circles. Friends and family, divided in loyalties, struggled to navigate the storm, some attempting to mediate while others fanned the flames of conflict. The city itself seemed to pulse with anticipation. Every social gathering, every public appearance, and every shared story contributing to a narrative that was at once chaotic and compelling. Fans and insiders speculated endlessly, analyzing past events, interpreting subtle cues, and predicting confrontations yet to come. The emotional conflict was multi-layered: betrayal, loyalty, love, jealousy, and the public scrutiny of personal decisions, all intertwined in a complex web that left no one untouched. Yandy, increasingly determined to reclaim her narrative, began reaching out to allies, strategizing ways to assert her voice and navigate the public storm. Each conversation, each message, each plan added tension, anticipation, and potential for explosive drama. Mendeecees and Erica, while celebrating privately, faced the reality of a highly publicized relationship fraught with scrutiny and criticism. Every smile, every gesture, and every social media post became a calculated move in a high-stakes game of perception and emotion. Family dynamics, once stable, now teetered on the edge of conflict. Relatives debated, argued, and occasionally reconciled, their interactions reflecting the deep fractures and alliances that had formed. Insiders hinted at past grievances resurfacing, confrontations long avoided now unavoidable. The drama was no longer confined to personal circles. The city, the fans, and the media were all participants in the unfolding saga. Every moment of tension, every tear, every whispered word, every confrontation captured attention, keeping the audience on edge. The stakes were higher than ever, emotions more intense than fans could imagine, and the reality TV narrative had reached a point of no return. Speculation ran rampant about future confrontations, potential reconciliations, and the lasting impact of public exposure. The tension was electric, a citywide anticipation of moments yet to unfold, interactions yet to explode, and emotions yet to boil over. Each day brought new developments, new leaks, new insights into the intricate web of relationships, emotions, and public perception. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy became more than a personal story. It was a phenomenon, a reality TV spectacle that consumed attention, emotions, and conversations across social media, private gatherings, and family interactions. The narrative, now both public and personal, intertwined heartbreak, loyalty, ambition, and love into a complex drama that showed no signs of abating. The tension, heartbreak, and anticipation created a backdrop for confrontations, reconciliations, and revelations that would continue to unfold, leaving fans, friends, and family desperate to see what would happen next. Caught in a storm of raw emotion and high-stakes drama that had become impossible to ignore. As the week progressed, the drama only intensified, reaching levels few could have imagined. Yandy, despite the heartbreak and constant public scrutiny, tried to maintain a semblance of composure, but every notification, every social media post, every whispered conversation reminded her of the betrayal that had shattered her world. She spent long hours in reflection, pacing her apartment, replaying every moment, every conversation, every laugh she had shared with Mendeecees, searching for signs she had missed. The pain was raw, but so was the determination to understand, to reclaim her narrative in a landscape where fans, media, and friends dissected her every move. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica navigated their newfound visibility with a careful mix of celebration and caution. Private moments of joy were often interrupted by the awareness of public judgment, the relentless analysis of fans and media, and the simmering tension that threatened to spill over at any moment. Each appearance, each post, each gesture was scrutinized, turning even the simplest interaction into fodder for speculation and drama. Family members became unwilling participants in the saga. Relatives exchanged tense messages, phone calls became battlegrounds for opinions, and loyalties were tested as the fallout from the announcement continued to ripple through every social circle. Some relatives supported Yandy, empathizing with her heartbreak, while others defended Mendeecees' right to pursue happiness, regardless of the emotional damage caused. The city itself seemed to pulse with anticipation. Every social gathering, every casual conversation, and every passing glance contributing to the narrative of an unfolding reality TV storm. Fans and insiders speculated endlessly, piecing together fragments of information, analyzing gestures, and predicting confrontations yet to come. The emotional conflict was layered and complex. Love, betrayal, loyalty, jealousy, ambition, and the crushing weight of public scrutiny intertwined, creating a tension that enveloped everyone involved. Yandy, increasingly determined to assert her voice, reached out to allies, seeking support, validation, and strategies to navigate the ongoing storm. Each conversation, each plan, each shared insight added both tension and anticipation, creating the potential for explosive confrontations and emotional revelations. Mendeecees and Erica, while outwardly united, were aware of the delicate balance they had to maintain. Public support was crucial, but the undercurrent of criticism, scrutiny, and Yandy's ongoing heartbreak loomed like a shadow over their celebrations. Every smile, every interaction, every social media post became a calculated move in a high-stakes game of perception and emotion. The family, divided and strained, struggled to maintain unity. Long-standing grievances resurfaced, old arguments reignited, and the pressure of public attention magnified every interaction. Insiders reported heated exchanges, whispered confrontations, and tentative reconciliations, all contributing to the complex tapestry of emotion and drama. As social media posts, leaks, and public reactions multiplied, the intensity of the drama escalated. Fans dissected every detail, from body language to captions, interpreting hidden messages and motives. The narrative of betrayal, heartbreak, and strategic maneuvering captivated audiences, creating a spectacle that seemed larger than life. Yandy, seeking clarity and closure, confronted friends and acquaintances, probing for truth, loyalty, and insight into the tangled web of relationships. Each revelation, each whispered secret, each confrontation added to the emotional volatility, keeping tensions high and anticipation palpable. Mendeecees, meanwhile, faced his own pressures, balancing private happiness with public perception, navigating the criticism and support from fans, and managing the delicate dynamics with family and friends required constant attention, careful planning, and emotional resilience. Erica, beside him, experienced a similar duality. The exhilaration of being at the center of public attention mingled with awareness of the hurt and turmoil surrounding Yandy, creating a tension that lingered beneath the surface of every interaction. The city, the fans, and the media became integral players in this ongoing drama, amplifying emotions, shaping narratives, and influencing actions. Every glance, every word, every message carried weight, impact, and potential consequence. As days turned into nights, and nights into long stretches of restless reflection, The anticipation for confrontations, reconciliations, and revelations grew. Rumors of secret meetings, strategic conversations, and emotional confrontations circulated widely, feeding the insatiable curiosity of fans and insiders. The stakes had never been higher. Every heartbeat, every interaction, every fleeting emotion contributed to a narrative that was both mesmerizing and heartbreaking. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy had evolved beyond a personal story, becoming a cultural phenomenon, a reality TV spectacle consuming attention, emotion, and conversation citywide. Each moment of tension, each tear, each confrontation, heightened anticipation, leaving fans, friends, and family on edge, desperate to witness what would unfold next in a story that seemed to grow more complex and emotionally charged with every passing hour. The drama was no longer just theirs, it belonged to everyone watching, analyzing, and reacting, a collective experience of heartbreak, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of happiness in the unforgiving glare of public scrutiny. The tension reached a fever pitch as the city seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next explosive development. Yandy, still grappling with the public nature of her heartbreak, decided she could no longer remain passive. She scheduled an interview with a popular local media outlet, determined to share her side of the story, to assert her voice, and to reclaim some control over the narrative that had spiraled wildly out of her hands. As the cameras rolled, her voice trembled with emotion, each word dripping with the raw pain of betrayal and the sharp sting of heartbreak. She recounted memories of intimate conversations, promises made, and moments shared, painting a vivid picture of trust broken and loyalty questioned. The interview instantly went viral, clips circulating across social media with millions tuning in to witness her vulnerability. Fans rallied, some sympathizing, some criticizing, and others speculating endlessly about hidden truths and untold motives. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica faced their own challenges. The initial thrill of public attention was quickly replaced by the relentless pressure of scrutiny. Every post, every appearance, every smile was analyzed, questioned, and debated. Insiders hinted at whispered arguments behind closed doors, tension simmering even in private moments as the weight of public perception bore down on them. Family members, once careful to remain neutral, were now openly expressing opinions. Some sided with Yandy, citing emotional trauma and betrayal, while others defended Mendeecees' right to pursue personal happiness. Heated phone calls, private messages, and accidental public comments all fueled the fire, creating a complex web of alliances, resentments, and unresolved conflicts. The city's social scene became a stage for the ongoing drama. Cafes, events, and private gatherings buzzed with speculation, as friends, acquaintances, and insiders shared their perspectives, each story adding layers of tension, intrigue, and emotional complexity. Every glance, every whispered word, every hint of body language became material for debate, analysis, and gossip. Yandy, fueled by the need to assert herself and process her emotions, began organizing private meetings with key allies. Strategies were discussed, potential confrontations planned, and ways to regain control over her narrative meticulously mapped out. Each interaction was charged with emotion, the delicate balance between vulnerability and strength on full display. Mendeecees and Erica, while celebrating small private victories, were acutely aware of the ticking clock, the public scrutiny, and the emotional volatility surrounding them. Every step was measured, every interaction calculated. But the unpredictable nature of Yandy's response, coupled with the public's insatiable curiosity, meant that control was always fleeting. Social media amplified every moment. Posts showcasing happiness were met with envy and criticism. Videos of emotional reactions were replayed endlessly. Fans dissected every expression, every gesture, every phrase. The narrative had become a living entity, evolving with each new development, feeding off the emotions and actions of everyone involved. Family dynamics, strained to the breaking point, revealed fractures that had long been present but were now impossible to conceal. Relatives took sides, old grievances resurfaced, and the pressure of public attention magnified even the smallest disagreement into a spectacle worthy of public discussion. As the days progressed, private confrontations became inevitable. Phone calls escalated into shouting matches, casual meetings turned tense, and what was once hidden behind closed doors now leaked in bits and pieces to an eager audience. Every revelation, every secret, every misstep added fuel to the fire, keeping tension high and anticipation palpable. The interplay between personal emotion and public perception created a uniquely intense environment. Yandy's vulnerability drew sympathy, support, and attention, while Mendeecees and Erica's careful management of appearances highlighted the delicate dance between private joy and public scrutiny. Fans, insiders, and media outlets became active participants, shaping narratives, influencing reactions, and heightening drama with every new piece of information. Rumors of additional confrontations, potential reconciliations, and escalating conflicts circulated widely. The emotional stakes were enormous. Every interaction could trigger an explosive response. Every revelation could shift allegiances, and every glance could fuel speculation. The saga had grown beyond a simple story of love, betrayal, and heartbreak. It had evolved into a citywide phenomenon, a reality TV spectacle that consumed attention, conversation, and emotion. Every heartbeat, every glance, every whispered word became part of a complex narrative that fans and insiders dissected with obsessive intensity. The anticipation for what would come next was electric, with no one willing to predict the outcome, yet all desperate to witness the next twist in this high-stakes emotional drama. The city, the fans, and the media were now integral characters, their reactions, debates, and speculations shaping the story as much as the actions of those at its center. The tension, heartbreak, and emotional volatility created a landscape ripe for confrontation, revelation, and escalation, leaving everyone on edge, desperate to see how the intertwined lives of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy would unfold in the days and nights ahead. The mounting tension reached a breaking point when a private dinner, intended as a reconciliation between mutual friends, turned into an unexpected confrontation. Yandy, determined to face the situation head-on, arrived early, emotions barely contained, her eyes scanning the room for familiar faces and, inevitably, for men. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, whispers circling as guests exchanged knowing glances, aware that this meeting could erupt into another dramatic chapter of the saga. As Mendeecees and Erica entered, the room seemed to collectively hold its breath. Fans following live updates on social media watched in real time as the energy in the room shifted. Each movement, each glance, each subtle gesture magnified by the scrutiny of cameras and onlookers. Yandy, her voice steady but tinged with emotion, approached Mendeecees, confronting him about the public nature of his announcement, the secrecy of their recent interactions, and the depth of her heartbreak. The conversation quickly escalated, emotions spilling over, voices raised, and accusations flying like sparks from a fire. "How could you do this to me?" she demanded, tears streaming down her face. All the promises, all the memories, did they mean nothing? Mendeecees, attempting to remain composed, replied, "Yandy, you know I care about you. But my happiness is something I have to pursue. This isn't about hurting you, it's about being true to myself." Erica, standing nearby, felt the intensity of the moment, her own emotions a mix of excitement and apprehension. She tried to interject, her voice calm but firm. "Yandy, this isn't meant to cause pain. We didn't plan for this to become a spectacle." Yet her words did little to ease the storm. The family, present at the dinner, became divided instantly. Some relatives defended Yandy, empathizing with her anguish and frustration, while others supported Mendeecees, emphasizing personal freedom and the right to pursue love. The room was a microcosm of the larger conflict, every glance and every whispered exchange amplifying the tension. Social media, already ablaze, captured snippets of the confrontation, the videos going viral within minutes. Fans dissected each expression, each tone of voice, and each subtle gesture, fueling endless debates across platforms. Speculation about hidden motives, past secrets, and future confrontations dominated comment sections and live streams. After the dinner, the drama didn't dissipate. Yandy retreated to process her emotions, confiding in close friends about the depth of her pain and the sense of betrayal she felt. Long conversations stretched into the early hours of the morning, plans forming, strategies developing for how to navigate the increasingly public nature of her heartbreak. Mendeecees and Erica, meanwhile, faced their own challenges. Private moments of joy were overshadowed by the public scrutiny and relentless attention. Every smile, every laugh, and every affectionate gesture became a potential flashpoint, analyzed by fans and media alike. The interplay of personal emotion and public perception intensified with each passing day. Family dynamics, already strained, became more complex. Disagreements over loyalty, love, and morality fueled heated debates, with relatives struggling to maintain relationships amidst the emotional tempest. Friendships were tested, alliances formed and broken, and long-standing grievances resurfaced with renewed intensity. The city seemed to pulse with the drama, every social gathering, every casual conversation, every passing glance adding to the narrative of betrayal, heartbreak, and the pursuit of personal happiness. Rumors of additional confrontations circulated, each whispered speculation adding layers of anticipation and tension. Emotional stakes were at their peak, with every interaction carrying the potential for explosive conflict or heartfelt reconciliation. Fans and insiders followed every development, their attention and reactions shaping the story as much as the actions of those at its center. Every tear, every argument, every subtle glance became material for discussion, analysis, and speculation. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy had evolved beyond a personal story into a public phenomenon, captivating audiences and dominating conversations citywide. The anticipation for the next chapter, the next confrontation, the next revelation was palpable, leaving everyone on edge, eager to see how the intertwined lives, emotions, and decisions of the trio would unfold in an ever-escalating reality TV spectacle that seemed impossible to predict, yet impossible to look away from. The tension, heartbreak, and drama showed no signs of waning, promising more twists, more confrontations, and more unforgettable moments in the saga that had consumed the hearts and minds of fans, friends, and family alike. The following days saw the drama spiral into an even more intense frenzy, leaving fans and insiders alike on the edge of their seats. Yandy, unwilling to remain silent, began documenting her emotional journey on social media, sharing glimpses of her heartbreak, moments of reflection, and raw, unfiltered emotion. Each post garnered millions of views, with fans pouring in messages of support, heartbreak, and speculation. The sheer volume of attention only amplified her emotional turmoil, forcing her to navigate grief in a landscape where every reaction was scrutinized. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica continued to manage their public image with meticulous care. Every post, every interview, every appearance became a calculated move designed to maintain support while mitigating backlash. Yet, despite careful planning, the intensity of the drama made complete control impossible. Fans analyzed every smile, every glance, and every gesture, constructing narratives about loyalty, betrayal, and hidden motives. Private conversations between friends and family became tinder for speculation. Snippets leaked online, fueling further chaos. Old grudges resurfaced as alliances shifted, and moments that had once seemed trivial were now magnified into points of contention. The emotional stakes were at their peak. Yandy, feeling both vulnerable and empowered, arranged meetings with close confidants, strategizing ways to reclaim her narrative. Each conversation was a delicate dance, balancing honesty, emotion, and strategy. Knowing that every word could eventually leak into the public sphere, Mendeecees and Erica, aware of the volatility, grew increasingly cautious. Even mundane interactions could be misinterpreted, each moment carrying potential consequences. Their private joy was tinged with the awareness of the ongoing emotional and public storm. Family gatherings became arenas of tension. Some relatives openly criticized Mendeecees, citing the emotional damage inflicted on Yandy, while others defended his right to pursue happiness. Heated exchanges, whispered confrontations, and subtle gestures of allegiance created an environment charged with anticipation and suspense. The city itself seemed to pulse with the saga, every conversation, every rumor, and every social media post contributing to the complex web of emotion and speculation. Insiders reported that secret confrontations and behind-the-scenes negotiations were underway. Friends and family tried to mediate, advise, or sometimes manipulate the narrative, each action feeding into the growing frenzy. The media, already obsessed, amplified every development. Headlines screamed with phrases like Yandy's heartbreak and Mendeecees moves on, and viral clips dissected gestures and expressions frame by frame. Fans debated motives, alliances, and emotional authenticity, creating a constant cycle of speculation and reaction. Late nights became periods of reflection, planning, and confrontation. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica all navigated emotional complexity while under the relentless glare of public attention. Relationships were tested, bonds strained, and trust questioned at every turn. The emotional landscape was a minefield, with every action carrying the potential for a dramatic reaction or public revelation. Rumors of future confrontations circulated like wildfire. Potential reconciliations, arguments, and betrayals loomed on the horizon, keeping fans on edge. The stakes had grown beyond personal heartbreak. The saga had become a cultural phenomenon, consuming attention, conversation, and emotion across the city. Every glance, every message, every tear became part of a larger narrative that captivated audiences, shaping perceptions and influencing reactions. As days turned into nights, the intensity of the drama escalated. Emotional volatility, public scrutiny, and the unpredictability of human behavior combined to create an environment where tension was constant. And anticipation never waned. Fans and insiders alike speculated about every possible outcome, from explosive confrontations to unexpected reconciliations. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica and Yandy had transcended a simple story of love and betrayal. It had evolved into an intricate reality TV spectacle, a high-stakes drama with emotional intensity that showed no signs of abating. Every heartbeat, every glance, every whispered word contributed to a narrative that was both mesmerizing and heartbreaking, leaving everyone watching desperate to see what would unfold next. The city, the fans, and the media had become extensions of the drama itself, shaping the story as much as the participants, and ensuring that the saga would remain unforgettable, unpredictable, and impossible to ignore. The tension, heartbreak, and emotional complexity promised more twists, more confrontations, and more unforgettable moments in the saga that had gripped the hearts and minds of an entire audience, leaving them captivated and emotionally invested in every unfolding chapter. The drama escalated further when whispers of a secret meeting between Yandy and a close mutual friend reached Mendeecees and Erica. The rumor suggested that Yandy was planning to confront him directly, not just about the marriage announcement but about months of perceived deceit, hidden intentions, and emotional neglect. As word spread, the city buzzed with speculation. Social media exploded with theories, fan reactions, and speculative posts dissecting potential outcomes. Insiders claimed that the meeting would be nothing short of explosive, with emotions running so high that reconciliation seemed unlikely. Yandy arrived at the designated location early, anticipation and nerves coiling tightly within her. Every passing second heightened the tension, the weight of what she was about to say pressing on her chest like a physical burden. When Mendeecees arrived with Erica in tow, the air seemed to crackle with unresolved emotion. The room, small and intimate, became a stage for what fans would later describe as an epic confrontation. A blend of raw emotion, accusations, and desperate pleas for understanding. Yandy, her voice steady but sharp, began, "You left me out of everything. This wasn't just a decision about your happiness. It was a decision that shattered my trust and exposed my life to the world without my consent." Mendeecees, attempting to maintain composure, replied carefully, "Yandy, I didn't anticipate the fallout. I thought I was being honest, but I understand now how it looks. This wasn't about hurting you. It was about following my path." Erica, sensing the tension, interjected softly, "Yandy, please understand. This wasn't meant to be malicious. I never intended to hurt you, only to support him." The words, though well-meant, did little to ease the storm. Yandy's response was measured, each sentence a careful mix of anger, hurt, and unresolved love. "Support, is that what you call it? While my life was broadcasted for the world to see, you two celebrated in secret. Do you even realize the humiliation, the pain, the betrayal I've endured?" The confrontation spiraled quickly, emotions spilling over, voices rising, and gestures emphasizing the intensity of every word. Family members, initially hesitant, soon arrived after hearing about the gathering, adding layers of commentary, opinion, and pressure. The room became a microcosm of the broader conflict, each person representing alliances, loyalties, and hidden grievances. Social media, again, amplified every moment. Live videos, screenshots, and leaked audio clips turned the confrontation into a viral spectacle, with fans dissecting tone, expression, and body language to infer hidden meanings and alliances. Discussions raged over who was right and who was wrong, fueling more speculation and fan-driven narratives. The city's social circles became an echo chamber of tension. Friends and acquaintances debated, planned, and whispered, each contribution adding fuel to the fire of anticipation. The emotional stakes continued to rise, with every interaction carrying potential consequences for relationships, public perception, and personal well-being. Yandy, emboldened by support from her inner circle, continued to press for clarity, accountability, and acknowledgement of her emotional pain. Mendeecees, while visibly stressed, tried to navigate the conversation with calm, attempting to balance honesty with emotional management. Erica, though supportive, remained aware of the delicate dynamics, attempting to maintain peace without undermining her own position. Rumors of additional leaks, confrontations, and emotional outbursts spread like wildfire, keeping fans, media, and insiders glued to updates. Each revelation, each emotional moment, each subtle shift in tone became material for speculation and discussion. The stakes were higher than ever. Every tear, every raised voice, every strategic pause contributed to an atmosphere charged with tension and suspense. Fans debated motives, analyzed expressions, and predicted outcomes, turning the confrontation into a spectacle that transcended the personal lives of those involved. As the night stretched on, the emotional intensity showed no sign of diminishing. Each person left the meeting emotionally drained, yet acutely aware that the drama was far from over. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy had evolved into a relentless cycle of confrontation, speculation, and emotional volatility. The public, the fans, and the media had become integral players in a narrative that was part reality, part spectacle, and entirely consuming. Anticipation for the next twist, revelation, or confrontation loomed large, leaving everyone invested in the unfolding story, aware that the emotional roller coaster was only accelerating, promising more heartbreak, more drama, and more unforgettable moments in a saga that had captured the hearts and minds of an entire audience. The following morning brought no relief, only a continuation of the emotional storm. Yandy awoke to a flood of notifications, messages of support, criticism, and endless speculation. Fans had dissected every moment of the previous night's confrontation, replaying leaked clips and debating every gesture, tone, and word. The intensity of public scrutiny pressed heavily on her, making even simple daily tasks feel like a performance under the world's gaze. She spent hours reflecting, pacing her apartment, and speaking with close friends, trying to untangle her feelings of betrayal, hurt, and lingering love. Each memory replayed in her mind, each conversation she had with Mendeecees, now painted with the weight of public exposure, felt sharper, more poignant, more inescapable. Mendeecees and Erica, meanwhile, faced their own growing pressure. Private moments of joy were now layered with the awareness that every smile, every glance, every affectionate gesture could be dissected by fans, media, and friends alike. Their social media posts became a delicate balancing act, celebrating their union while navigating backlash, speculation, and the omnipresent shadow of Yandy's emotional response. Family members, already strained, became further divided. Debates and arguments surfaced over loyalty, fairness, and morality. Private grievances emerged, long-held resentments flared, and moments of attempted reconciliation were often interrupted by public pressure. Every family interaction became laden with emotional weight, every comment scrutinized, every gesture interpreted as an alliance or a betrayal. Insiders hinted at more private meetings, late-night discussions, and strategizing sessions aimed at navigating the rapidly intensifying storm. Friends attempted to mediate, advise, or influence, each interaction adding layers of complexity and tension. Social media amplified every whisper, every glance, every raised voice, transforming private emotion into public spectacle. Fans speculated endlessly about motives, hidden feelings, and potential reconciliations or further confrontations. Yandy, determined to reclaim control over her narrative, began recording her own reflections. She shared candid thoughts on social media, her voice raw and vulnerable, yet composed enough to convey resilience. Her posts drew both empathy and criticism, further fueling debate and speculation. Mendeecees and Erica's public presence continued to evolve. Every smile, every interaction, every carefully staged post was a negotiation between personal happiness and the unrelenting gaze of a captivated audience. The tension between private contentment and public perception created constant pressure, leaving no room for error. The saga of confrontations, emotional appeals, and public scrutiny escalated with every passing day. Rumors of additional leaks, confrontations, and reconciliations spread like wildfire, leaving the city and online communities captivated. Every meeting, every phone call, every message was potential fodder for speculation, interpretation, and debate. The emotional stakes remained extraordinarily high. Every interaction could trigger another wave of drama. Every revelation had the potential to reshape alliances, and every glance carried meaning. Fans, media, and insiders became active participants in the unfolding narrative, their reactions shaping the story as much as the actions of those at its center. As days turned into nights, the intensity of the saga only increased. The emotional landscape became a minefield of heartbreak, anger, hope, and anticipation. Yandy's resilience, Mendeecees' careful management, and Erica's balancing act of support and caution kept the drama in a constant state of flux. Every heartbeat, every tear, every raised voice contributed to a spectacle that was simultaneously personal, public, and impossible to ignore. The city, the social scene, and the fan base became extensions of the drama itself, magnifying every interaction, every revelation, and every emotional peak. The anticipation for what would come next, for the next confrontation, reconciliation, or revelation, remained electric. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy had transformed into a relentless reality TV storm, capturing attention, conversation, and emotion citywide. Heartbreak, betrayal, loyalty, and love intertwined in a narrative that promised more explosive moments, more unexpected twists, and more unforgettable chapters in a story that had become a cultural phenomenon, leaving everyone watching desperate to see what would unfold next in a saga that seemed to grow more intense with each passing hour. The tension reached new heights when a leaked audio clip surfaced online, allegedly capturing a private conversation between Mendeecees and a close friend discussing the fallout from the announcement. Fans immediately dissected every word, tone, and pause, claiming hidden meanings and secret intentions. The clip suggested that Mendeecees had underestimated the emotional impact on Yandy, and that Erica was more aware of the situation than previously thought. Social media erupted with speculation, theories, and heated debates, with hashtags trending across platforms as fans voiced their outrage, sympathy, and disbelief. Yandy, upon discovering the clip, felt a renewed surge of emotion, anger, betrayal, and determination all intermingling. She called close friends, confiding in them, and planning her next moves carefully. She knew that every action, every public statement, every post could influence perception and further fuel the ongoing drama. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica faced the unrelenting pressure of the leak. Private conversations now carried the weight of public scrutiny, and even casual gestures were analyzed for hidden meaning. Erica, feeling a mix of guilt and anxiety, tried to mediate, offering support to Mendeecees while managing her own emotional response to the unfolding storm. Family members, already strained, were pulled further into the conflict. Relatives debated, argued, and offered unsolicited advice, creating additional pressure and emotional complexity. Alliances shifted, loyalties were questioned, and the emotional stakes reached a fever pitch. Fans, now armed with both the clip and their own interpretations, speculated about secret motives, hidden betrayals, and potential confrontations yet to come. The narrative became a living, breathing entity, shaped by emotion, perception, and public engagement. Yandy, determined not to be sidelined, scheduled a live Q&A session with fans, sharing her perspective, reflecting on her feelings, and confronting rumors directly. Her vulnerability resonated widely, drawing sympathy and admiration, but also criticism from those who questioned her motives. Mendeecees and Erica, aware of the increasing public interest, attempted damage control, releasing carefully worded statements and orchestrating appearances designed to calm the storm while maintaining the appearance of unity and happiness. Yet the dynamics remained volatile. Every smile, every gesture, every interaction was scrutinized, feeding the cycle of speculation, interpretation, and emotional escalation. Private conversations among friends and allies became arenas of strategic planning, emotional venting, and anticipation of potential confrontations. The intensity of the drama affected every facet of life for those involved, blending personal emotion with the relentless gaze of fans, media, and social circles. Rumors of additional confrontations, clandestine meetings, and potential reconciliations circulated with growing frequency, keeping anticipation high and emotions raw. The city itself seemed to pulse with the saga, every conversation, gathering, and social event touched by the ongoing drama. Fans debated, allies planned, and every action carried the potential for another wave of emotion, reaction, and public attention. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica found themselves navigating a constantly shifting landscape of emotion, perception, and expectation. Heartbreak, loyalty, love, and public scrutiny intertwined in a complex web, leaving each person on edge, acutely aware that the next move could escalate the drama or provide a fleeting sense of resolution. As days passed, the intensity showed no sign of diminishing. Every post, every interaction, every subtle glance contributed to a narrative that was simultaneously personal, public, and impossible to ignore. Anticipation for what would come next, the next revelation, confrontation, or emotional breakthrough remained electric. The saga had become more than a story of love, betrayal, and heartbreak. It was a full-blown reality TV phenomenon, captivating attention, shaping conversations, and leaving fans, friends, and family desperate to witness the next explosive chapter in a narrative that had grown increasingly complex, unpredictable, and emotionally charged, promising more unforgettable moments in the unfolding drama that had consumed the hearts and minds of all who watched. The following week brought a new level of intensity, as rumors of a planned public confrontation began to circulate. Insiders claimed that Yandy had scheduled a meeting at a well-known city venue, inviting mutual friends, family members, and even media representatives under the guise of an open discussion. Anticipation skyrocketed, with fans speculating endlessly about what would happen. The city buzzed, and social media feeds were filled with countdowns, predictions, and heated debates. Yandy arrived early, her demeanor a mix of determination and raw emotion. She had rehearsed what she wanted to say, balancing anger, heartbreak, and a desire for closure. When Mendeecees and Erica arrived, the energy in the room shifted instantly. Whispers spread like wildfire, everyone aware that the gathering could erupt into a dramatic spectacle. Yandy, addressing both of them directly, began with a controlled but impassioned tone. This isn't just about betrayal. It's about respect, trust, and how decisions made in secrecy affect lives. You may have your happiness, but at what cost? Mendeecees responded cautiously, trying to convey both empathy and justification. Yandy, I understand your pain. I didn't anticipate this reaction, but my intention was never to hurt you. I had to follow my path. Erica, standing beside him, added softly, please understand, Yandy, I never wanted to be the cause of your pain. We didn't plan for it to affect you like this. The room became a pressure cooker of emotion, with every word scrutinized, every gesture analyzed. Family members, present and online, contributed to the tension, offering unsolicited opinions, whispering commentary, and subtle expressions of allegiance. Friends and confidants tried to mediate, though the volatile mix of anger, heartbreak, and public scrutiny made calm resolution nearly impossible. Social media amplified every moment. Leaked videos, photos, and audio clips spread across platforms within minutes. Fans debated motives, analyzed expressions, and speculated about hidden agendas. The narrative evolved rapidly, becoming a living story shaped by emotion, perception, and public engagement. Yandy, emboldened by support from her inner circle, pressed on, highlighting the personal consequences of public betrayal. Her words, laden with both vulnerability and strength, resonated widely, sparking an outpouring of empathy and debate. Mendeecees and Erica, while striving to maintain composure, were visibly strained by the relentless attention and the intensity of the confrontation. Each movement, each glance, each carefully measured phrase carried weight. Private conversations, once discreet, became fodder for speculation, leaking into public forums and fueling further drama. Fans and insiders speculated about secret motives, hidden feelings, and potential future confrontations. The city itself seemed captivated, every social gathering, casual conversation, and passing glance contributing to the ongoing saga. The emotional stakes were at an all-time high. Every interaction, every revelation, every subtle gesture had the potential to trigger a public reaction, escalate tension, or catalyze reconciliation. Anticipation for the next twist, revelation, or dramatic moment remained palpable, with fans, friends, and family alike desperate to see how the intertwined lives and emotions of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica would continue to unfold. The saga had transcended a simple story of love and heartbreak. It had become a full-blown reality TV phenomenon, a relentless spectacle of emotion, perception, and public scrutiny. Each heartbeat, each tear, each raised voice contributed to a narrative that was both mesmerizing and heartbreaking, keeping audiences captivated, invested, and unable to look away from the ever-evolving, unpredictable, and emotionally charged drama that defined the lives of everyone involved. The tension, the heartbreak, and the anticipation promised more confrontations, more revelations, and more unforgettable moments in a story that had grown larger than life, consuming attention, shaping conversations, and leaving fans desperate to witness every next chapter. The following days were a whirlwind of emotion, speculation, and strategic maneuvering. Yandy, refusing to let her narrative be defined solely by heartbreak, began documenting her journey with carefully crafted social media posts, interviews, and private conversations with allies. Each message was a delicate balance of vulnerability, anger, and clarity, designed to convey her side of the story while anticipating the inevitable scrutiny from fans and media. Every post was dissected, every nuance debated, and every word analyzed for hidden meaning. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Erica faced their own escalating challenges. Private happiness was constantly under siege. Every smile, every interaction, every social media post subject to interpretation and judgment. The pair worked tirelessly to maintain a sense of normalcy while managing the storm of attention, criticism, and expectation that now surrounded their every move. Family dynamics became even more strained. Relatives who had attempted to remain neutral were drawn into heated debates over loyalty, fairness, and morality. Long-standing grievances resurfaced, and moments of attempted reconciliation were overshadowed by the relentless glare of public attention. Conversations that once would have been private now carried the weight of potential leaks and viral moments, making even casual interactions fraught with tension. Rumors of additional confrontations, clandestine meetings, and secret discussions circulated rapidly, keeping fans, insiders, and media outlets on edge. Speculation ran wild as every new detail, no matter how minor, was analyzed, reinterpreted, and magnified. The emotional stakes reached unprecedented levels. Every glance, every raised voice, every whispered word had the potential to ignite another wave of drama. Yandy, increasingly empowered, began orchestrating strategic interactions, meeting with key allies, and planning future moves with careful deliberation. Her goal was not only to reclaim her narrative, but to assert control in a situation that had spiraled far beyond private heartbreak. Mendeecees and Erica, while managing public perception, also navigated the intricacies of personal relationships under pressure. Each decision required careful consideration, as the risk of missteps was magnified by the ever-present audience of fans, media, and social circles. The saga had grown beyond a personal story into a cultural phenomenon. The city itself seemed caught in the grip of the drama, with every gathering, casual conversation, and fleeting glance contributing to the narrative. Insiders reported secret discussions, private negotiations, and emotionally charged confrontations, each adding new layers to an already complex situation. Social media amplified every moment, turning private emotions into public spectacle. Fans debated motives, analyzed expressions, and speculated endlessly about possible outcomes, further escalating tension and anticipation. Late nights became periods of reflection, planning, and emotional processing. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica all confronted the dual reality of private emotion versus public perception, navigating heartbreak, loyalty, and love under intense scrutiny. The interplay between personal feelings and the expectations of an audience created a relentless cycle of anticipation, reaction, and speculation. Each revelation, each confrontation, and each subtle shift in behavior contributed to an ever-evolving story that was impossible to ignore. The saga had transcended a simple tale of love, betrayal, and heartbreak. It had become an unrelenting reality TV phenomenon. The emotional intensity, public scrutiny, and unpredictable dynamics promised more confrontations, more revelations, and more unforgettable moments. Every heartbeat, every tear, every glance contributed to a narrative that captivated, mesmerized, and left audiences desperate for the next explosive development in a story that had consumed hearts, minds, and social feeds alike. The tension, heartbreak, and anticipation showed no sign of abating, promising a continuing cascade of drama, emotional upheaval, and high-stakes encounters in a saga that had become larger than life. Impossible to ignore, and endlessly compelling, the drama took an even more intense turn when a surprise appearance at a public event brought all three Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica to the same room, under the watchful eyes of fans, media, and family. Whispers of potential confrontation had circulated for days, creating a palpable tension that seemed to ripple through the crowd. Yandy arrived first, her demeanor composed yet charged with a barely contained storm of emotion. As she scanned the room, her eyes locked on Mendeecees and Erica, who had just entered, their presence sending a wave of anticipation through the audience. Every step, every glance, every subtle shift in posture was amplified by the intensity of the moment. Yandy, taking a deep breath, approached with measured confidence, her voice calm but unmistakably firm. "This ends tonight. No more whispers, no more behind-the-scenes games. It's time to speak honestly, and face the consequences of choices made." Mendeecees, visibly tense, yet striving to remain composed, responded, "Yandy, I never wanted to hurt you. I understand now how much my actions have affected you. but my decision was mine to make. I can only ask for understanding, not forgiveness. Erica, feeling the weight of the confrontation, spoke softly. Please, Yandy, we never intended to cause this much pain. We hoped for happiness without creating heartbreak, but the world has made it impossible to contain. The room seemed suspended in a moment of intense emotional gravity, each word reverberating with the weight of past betrayals, heartbreak, and unspoken truths. Family members, already emotionally invested, whispered among themselves, offering commentary, support, or criticism, further complicating the emotional landscape. Fans present and online dissected every phrase, every expression, every subtle interaction, constructing narratives, assigning motives, and speculating on future outcomes. The energy was electric, the tension almost unbearable. Yandy, refusing to be sidelined, continued, her voice resonant with a mix of vulnerability and resolve. I trusted, I loved, and I believed in what we had. Now, I'm left to navigate the aftermath while the world watches, and it's time my feelings are acknowledged. Mendeecees, balancing defense and empathy, replied, I can't undo the past, but I can be honest about my intentions. I cared deeply for both of you, but choices had to be made. Erica, maintaining composure, added, we must move forward with integrity, acknowledging hurt while pursuing happiness. It's messy, yes, but it's real. The confrontation unfolded like a high-stakes drama, each moment filled with emotion, tension, and unpredictability. Private grievances, past promises, and public scrutiny collided, creating a spectacle that captivated all who witnessed it. Social media exploded, with live clips, photos, and commentary spreading rapidly. Fans debated, empathized, criticized, and speculated, creating an ecosystem in which every action fueled further discussion and analysis. Insider reports hinted at behind-the-scenes strategies, private negotiations, and pre-planned responses designed to manage perception while navigating the intense emotional landscape. The emotional stakes were extraordinary. Each glance, each gesture, each carefully measured word had the potential to escalate or de-escalate the ongoing drama. The city's social circles became a living extension of the saga, with conversations, speculation, and commentary spreading like wildfire. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica navigated a landscape where private feelings and public perception were in constant tension, where heartbreak, loyalty, love, and scrutiny intertwined in an unpredictable and emotionally charged narrative. Every revelation, confrontation, and subtle interaction contributed to a story that had grown beyond personal emotion into a cultural phenomenon. Anticipation for what would come next, the next revelation, the next confrontation, the next emotional breakthrough remained electric. The saga had become a relentless spectacle of human emotion, perception, and public engagement, captivating hearts and minds, shaping conversations, and leaving fans desperate to witness every new chapter. Heartbreak, betrayal, loyalty, love, and the consequences of public scrutiny intertwined in a narrative that promised more explosive moments, more dramatic confrontations, and more unforgettable events in a story that had become larger than life, endlessly compelling, and impossible to ignore. The intensity escalated further when a series of private messages, allegedly between Mendeecees and a close friend, were leaked online, suggesting that he had contemplated the timing and public nature of his marriage announcement for weeks. Fans pounced on every word, framing the messages as evidence of calculated planning, while others speculated that Erica had been complicit in every step. Yandy, upon seeing the messages, felt a renewed surge of anger and betrayal. She immediately contacted her closest allies, recounting the emotional devastation she felt and strategizing her next move. The leak sparked a social media frenzy, with clips of the messages being circulated, screenshots analyzed, and live streams erupting with debates and reactions. Every expression, every word, every subtle gesture from the past week was reinterpreted in light of the new revelations. Mendeecees, visibly tense, attempted to clarify the situation, posting a carefully worded statement that balanced personal honesty with damage control. The timing was not intended to hurt anyone. My intention was never malicious. I sought happiness, and I hoped those who care about me could understand that. Erica followed with her own statement, soft and measured. I never intended to cause pain. I support him, and I hoped for clarity, not conflict. Yet despite these efforts, public scrutiny remained unrelenting. Family members, already divided, found themselves pulled deeper into conflict. Private grievances were aired, alliances tested, and emotional conversations spilled into public view. amplifying the stakes even further. Insiders reported that Yandy had scheduled another private meeting, this time with mutual friends who had been caught in the crossfire, to discuss how to reclaim her narrative and confront the emotional fallout directly. The room, when it convened, became a storm of emotions. Yandy's voice, steady yet sharp with hurt, addressed both Mendeecees and Erica. You think a statement or a post can undo the pain? Do you even realize how many people have been affected? How many of us are watching our lives be dissected, manipulated, and misrepresented? Mendeecees, trying to maintain calm, responded with measured sincerity. I understand, Yandy. I know this doesn't erase the hurt, but it was never meant to harm. My actions were about honesty and pursuing a path I had to follow. Erica, visibly emotional, added softly, please know, I never sought to hurt anyone. Our intention was never to create this much turmoil. The confrontation, intense and unrelenting, was a catalyst for further analysis, speculation, and debate online and offline. Fans dissected every nuance, every expression, every pause, seeking hidden motives, betrayals, and unspoken truths. The emotional stakes were extraordinarily high. Every interaction, every glance, every carefully chosen word could trigger a public reaction, escalate tension, or prompt reconciliation. The saga continued to unfold like an unending reality TV episode, each new development layering additional complexity, emotion, and intrigue. Citywide conversations, social gatherings, and online forums became extensions of the drama, where speculation, gossip, and emotional commentary fed the ever-growing narrative. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica navigated a constantly shifting landscape of personal emotion, public scrutiny, and social expectation. Heartbreak, loyalty, love, and the relentless gaze of an audience intertwined in a story that was both mesmerizing and emotionally exhausting. Every decision, every action, every word contributed to a saga that had transcended personal boundaries to become a full-blown phenomenon, captivating attention, shaping public discourse, and leaving fans desperate to witness the next explosive chapter. Anticipation remained electric, every heartbeat charged with the possibility of a revelation, confrontation, or dramatic twist. The story, fueled by emotional intensity and unrelenting public engagement, promised more unforgettable moments, more confrontations, and more heartbreak, ensuring that the saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy would continue to dominate conversations, social feeds, and public imagination for weeks to come. As the weeks passed, the emotional landscape became even more volatile. Yandy, refusing to remain a silent observer, decided to confront the narrative head-on by scheduling a candid live session, inviting fans to witness her truth firsthand. She opened with a measured yet piercing statement, "I've been hurt, misrepresented, and left to process what should have been private in the harsh glare of public attention. Today, I reclaim my voice." Viewers poured in by the thousands, their messages oscillating between sympathy, outrage, and curiosity. The comments section became a pressure cooker of debate, with fans dissecting every word, analyzing her expressions, and speculating on unseen motives. Mendeecees and Erica, aware of the live session, watched nervously from separate locations, each feeling the weight of public scrutiny and the possibility that Yandy's statements could redefine the narrative entirely. The city seemed to pulse with anticipation. Every conversation, every whispered comment, every social media post magnifying the intensity. During the session, Yandy detailed the emotional toll of betrayal, the challenge of being sidelined, and the heartbreak of seeing private matters broadcasted without consent. She shared private memories, moments of vulnerability, and the pain of perceived abandonment, all while maintaining a tone of resilience that resonated widely. Viewers responded with empathy and support, flooding social media with trending hashtags, reaction videos, and analysis, amplifying the drama exponentially. Mendeecees, compelled to respond, issued a public statement addressing the live session, carefully navigating the fine line between defense and accountability. "I understand the pain caused, and I never intended to hurt anyone. My decisions were made with honesty, though clearly imperfect in timing and execution. I ask for understanding and hope for dialogue, not conflict." Erica, supporting him while managing her own emotional state, added, "We are navigating a difficult situation. Our intention has never been to cause heartbreak, and we hope for a path forward that acknowledges feelings while allowing for happiness." The public reaction was immediate and fierce. Every word, every nuance, every perceived tone became fodder for commentary, speculation, and debate. Fans dissected intentions, motives, and emotional authenticity, creating a feedback loop that heightened tension and anticipation. Insiders reported that private discussions among friends and family grew increasingly strategic, with alliances, loyalty, and emotional investment constantly in flux. Yandy, empowered by her growing support network, continued to craft her narrative with precision, balancing vulnerability with assertiveness, pain with clarity, and heartbreak with determination. Mendeecees and Erica, meanwhile, navigated the precarious intersection of personal happiness and public perception, each action carefully considered, yet perpetually vulnerable to misinterpretation or leak. The saga, already larger than life, intensified further as rumors of additional meetings, confrontations, and reconciliations emerged. Each revelation, each interaction, each subtle gesture had the potential to escalate or de-escalate the ongoing drama. Social media amplified the stakes exponentially, with viral clips, screenshots, and live updates ensuring that the narrative reached millions in real time. The emotional stakes remained extraordinarily high. Every interaction, every glance, every word carried potential consequences, both private and public. Fans, insiders, and media outlets became active participants, shaping the evolving story as much as the central figures themselves. The tension, heartbreak, and emotional complexity of the saga continued to grow, with anticipation for the next twist, revelation, or confrontation remaining electric. The narrative had evolved into a full-blown reality TV phenomenon, a relentless spectacle of emotion, scrutiny, and public engagement. Every heartbeat, tear, and carefully chosen word contributed to a story that captivated attention, dominated conversations, and left audiences desperate to witness the next explosive chapter. Heartbreak, betrayal, loyalty, love, and public scrutiny intertwined to create a saga that was impossible to ignore, endlessly compelling, and charged with the promise of more confrontations, more revelations, and more unforgettable moments in a narrative that had transcended the ordinary to become a cultural touchstone for drama, emotion, and high-stakes personal storytelling. The tension reached a boiling point when an unexpected video surfaced, showing a private conversation between Mendeecees and Erica that fans claimed revealed hidden emotions and unspoken regrets. The clip, though brief, was dissected endlessly across social media, with each expression, sigh, and pause interpreted as evidence of secret motives, lingering guilt, or concealed intentions. Yandy, upon viewing the video, felt a rush of renewed emotion, anger, betrayal, and heartbreak intertwining with determination. She immediately convened her closest allies, strategizing how to address the situation and reclaim her narrative while maintaining composure under intense scrutiny. The leak intensified the already frenzied public discourse. Fans dissected every moment, forming theories about hidden agendas, secret conversations, and potential future confrontations. Hashtags trended across platforms, reaction videos proliferated, and commentary from influencers added further layers to the ongoing drama. Mendeecees and Erica, now navigating not only their personal emotional landscape but also a relentless public spotlight, attempted to maintain a semblance of normalcy. Every gesture, every social media post, every public appearance was calculated, balancing personal happiness with the demands of a captivated audience. Family members, who had previously tried to remain neutral, became increasingly vocal, offering opinions, criticism, and support, further complicating the emotional dynamics. Private conversations were filled with planning, strategy, and emotional venting, each interaction carrying the weight of potential public exposure. Yandy, determined to assert control, prepared for a high-stakes public appearance, aiming to speak her truth and address both the emotional fallout and the relentless speculation. Mendeecees and Erica, anticipating the event, reviewed strategies to respond without escalating conflict while attempting to convey empathy and maintain credibility. The meeting, when it occurred, was electric. Yandy, voice steady but imbued with emotion, began. Every action, every choice, has consequences. What might seem private to some becomes public for others, and the pain caused cannot be ignored or minimized. Mendeecees, visibly tense, responded with a mixture of defense and remorse. I understand your feelings, and I know my actions hurt. My intention was never malicious, but I acknowledge the impact. Erica, equally affected, added softly, our intentions were never to cause this level of pain. We hoped for happiness without hurting anyone, but the reality has been far more complicated. The confrontation unfolded like a masterclass in emotional intensity. Each gesture, each glance, each carefully measured word was magnified, analyzed, and interpreted by those present and by the millions watching online. Fans, insiders, and media outlets alike became active participants, their reactions shaping the evolving narrative. Private grievances, long-held resentments, and unresolved feelings collided with public scrutiny, creating a relentless storm of emotion, speculation, and drama. The city itself seemed to pulse with the saga. Every social interaction, every casual conversation, and every passing comment feeding into the narrative. Anticipation for what would come next, another revelation, another confrontation, or a moment of emotional clarity, remained at a fever pitch. The saga had evolved beyond a simple story of love and betrayal into a sprawling reality TV phenomenon, with heartbreak, loyalty, love, and public perception intertwined in a story that captivated attention, dominated conversation, and left audiences desperate for the next unforgettable chapter. Every interaction, every tear, every carefully considered statement added layers of complexity, emotion, and suspense, ensuring that the drama surrounding Mendeecees, Erika and Yandy would continue to enthrall, shock, and captivate audiences for weeks to come. The drama escalated even further when a surprise guest arrived at a private dinner reportedly arranged by mutual friends to ease tensions. The guest, a well-known socialite and confidant of Yandy, arrived unexpectedly and immediately brought the spotlight onto unresolved conflicts. Whispers rippled through the room as fans online speculated about the purpose of the meeting. Whether it was a reconciliation attempt or a prelude to an emotional confrontation, Yandy, seated across from Mendeecees and Erika, maintained a composed exterior. Though her eyes betrayed the storm brewing inside, she began cautiously, choosing her words with precision. "We are all adults here, but maturity doesn't erase pain. Honesty isn't just about what is said, it's about awareness of consequences and responsibility." Mendeecees leaned forward, trying to balance calm reasoning with the acknowledgement of the hurt he had caused. "Yandy, I never wanted you to feel betrayed. My decision to marry Erika was about pursuing a path I felt compelled to follow, not about disrespecting our history or emotions." Erika, visibly tense, added softly, "I never sought to overshadow or hurt anyone. I care deeply about him and hope for a future where everyone can find understanding and peace." The socialite guest, sensing the tension, attempted to mediate, offering insights and reflections on human emotion, intentions, and perception. Yet even her words only seemed to amplify the intensity, as every phrase was scrutinized by those present and by fans following live updates online. The room, charged with emotion, became a microcosm of the larger spectacle that had gripped the city and social media alike. Every movement, every glance, every subtle change in expression became material for speculation. Outside the room, social media exploded. Hashtags trended within minutes, reaction videos went viral, and fans dissected every frame of the gathering. The public was captivated, debating motives, alliances, and potential outcomes. Insiders reported that the meeting was a tipping point, with private grievances resurfacing and emotions reaching a boiling point. Yandy, aware of her growing influence and the attention on her words, maintained a delicate balance between expressing hurt and demonstrating strength, refusing to be marginalized in the narrative. Mendeecees and Erika, navigating a minefield of emotion, public scrutiny, and social expectation, sought to convey authenticity while protecting their personal happiness. The evening unfolded with moments of emotional revelation, subtle tension, and fragile attempts at understanding. Tears were shed, voices raised, and apologies exchanged, all under the unrelenting gaze of both intimate observers and the wider public who had turned the drama into a live spectacle. The emotional stakes reached a crescendo, with every word, every gesture, every carefully considered statement carrying the potential to shift alliances, provoke backlash, or spark reconciliation. The saga, already larger than life, grew more intricate, weaving heartbreak, loyalty, love, and public scrutiny into an ever-evolving tapestry of human emotion. Anticipation for the next revelation, the next confrontation, or the next public statement remained electric. The story had transcended the ordinary, becoming a relentless reality TV phenomenon, captivating audiences, dominating social discourse, and ensuring that the unfolding drama of Yandy and Erika would remain at the forefront of conversation, speculation, and fascination, promising more unforgettable, shocking, and emotionally charged moments in the chapters yet to come. The intensity reached a new level when leaked photos from the private dinner began circulating online, showing subtle gestures, fleeting expressions, and moments that seemed to speak volumes without a single word being exchanged. Fans and media outlets immediately dissected every detail, speculating endlessly about hidden emotions, unspoken agreements, and potential confrontations. Yandy, seeing the images, felt a surge of renewed determination. She knew that public perception could easily redefine the narrative, so she acted swiftly, crafting a series of heartfelt posts that balanced vulnerability with strength. "I will not let pain be minimized, nor will I be silenced," she wrote, her words resonating widely, igniting debates and support in equal measure. Mendeecees and Erica, faced with the viral spread of these photos, scrambled to maintain composure while addressing rumors. Carefully worded statements were released, emphasizing love, honesty, and the challenges of navigating personal happiness under public scrutiny. Every post, every gesture, every public appearance was now a calculated move in a high-stakes emotional chess game. Family members, long caught in the crossfire, grew more vocal, their opinions and interventions, adding layers of complexity to an already volatile emotional landscape. Friends, confidants, and insiders continued to leak details, intensifying speculation and keeping the story alive across social media feeds, news platforms, and casual conversations citywide. Yandy, unwilling to be overshadowed, arranged another live session, speaking candidly to fans about her emotions, experiences, and reflections. She addressed betrayal, heartbreak, and the struggle to maintain dignity in the face of relentless scrutiny. Viewers responded with overwhelming support, fueling trending hashtags, reaction videos, and viral discussions. Mendeecees and Erica, meanwhile, tried to navigate the relentless cycle of emotion and public interpretation. Every smile, every glance, every statement was dissected, leaving them in a constant state of calculated vulnerability. The saga evolved further when rumors of a potential reconciliation attempt surfaced. Insiders claimed that private meetings were underway, with close allies mediating and attempting to broker understanding among the three central figures. The emotional tension, however, remained palpable. Every interaction was fraught with history, hurt, and the potential for escalation. Social media amplified every whisper, every glance, and every pause, creating a feedback loop of speculation, analysis, and emotional intensity. Fans debated motives, intentions, and authenticity, further intensifying the pressure on those at the center of the storm. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica found themselves navigating a constantly shifting landscape of emotion, perception, and expectation. Heartbreak, loyalty, love, and public scrutiny intertwined in an intricate, unpredictable, and emotionally charged narrative. The anticipation for each next moment, the next revelation, confrontation, or breakthrough was electric. The story had transcended private drama to become a full-blown reality TV phenomenon, captivating attention, shaping conversations, and leaving audiences desperate to witness every new development. Every heartbeat, every tear, every carefully chosen word added layers of suspense, intrigue, and emotional resonance, ensuring that the saga would continue to dominate headlines, social feeds, and public imagination for weeks, with more shocking, unforgettable, and emotionally charged chapters yet to unfold. The situation intensified when an anonymous source leaked a private voicemail from Mendeecees, allegedly left for Erica in the early hours after a particularly heated exchange with Yandy. The voicemail, brief yet charged with emotion, was immediately circulated online. Fans dissected every word, tone, and pause, claiming it revealed hidden guilt, conflicted feelings, and secret intentions. Yandy, upon hearing about the leak, felt a renewed surge of emotion, anger, betrayal, and determination mingling into a single overwhelming force. She convened her closest friends and advisors, strategizing how to address the latest twist while maintaining her composure and authority in the narrative. Social media erupted, with hashtags trending across platforms as fans reacted, debated, and speculated. Reaction videos, analysis clips, and commentary flooded feeds, further amplifying the drama. Mendeecees, under immense pressure, attempted to clarify the situation with a carefully worded public statement. The message was personal, intended to communicate feelings and intentions privately. It was never meant to hurt anyone, but I understand how it may have been perceived. I ask for understanding as we navigate this complex situation. Erica, equally affected, released her own statement, emphasizing that her involvement had always been grounded in care, support, and honesty, while acknowledging the unintended consequences of private actions becoming public. Family members, caught in the crossfire, became increasingly vocal, offering support, criticism, and unsolicited advice, adding layers of tension and complexity. Private conversations, once discreet, now carried the weight of potential exposure, turning even casual interactions into high-stakes maneuvers. Yandy, empowered by growing public sympathy and support, planned another live session, this time to address the voicemail leak directly. She spoke with controlled intensity, balancing vulnerability and strength. What might seem private to some becomes public for others. The hurt caused cannot be minimized, and my feelings deserve acknowledgement. Mendeecees and Erica, aware of the session, prepared responses aimed at addressing concerns while avoiding further escalation. The dynamics of the situation had shifted yet again, with private grievances, past betrayals, and public scrutiny converging into a single volatile spectacle. The city seemed captivated, every social gathering, conversation, and casual encounter touched by the unfolding drama. Anticipation for the next revelation, confrontation, or emotional breakthrough remained electric. The story had become a cultural phenomenon, a relentless reality TV spectacle in which heartbreak, loyalty, love, and public perception intertwined in a story that captivated, mesmerized, and left audiences desperate for the next explosive chapter. Each action, each word, each glance contributed to an ongoing narrative that was larger than life, endlessly compelling, and impossible to ignore, promising more confrontations, more revelations, and more unforgettable moments in the lives of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica. The saga took an even darker turn when a series of text messages allegedly exchanged between Mendeecees and Erica surfaced, suggesting secret plans and unspoken agreements that fans claimed confirmed hidden intentions. The leak sent shockwaves through social media, with every detail analyzed, interpreted, and debated endlessly. Yandy, learning of the messages, experienced a mix of anger, hurt, and determination. She immediately sought counsel from her closest confidants, formulating a plan to address the new developments while maintaining her dignity and control over the narrative. The city buzzed with speculation, and hashtags related to the drama trended across multiple platforms. Fans created reaction videos, dissected the leaked content, and speculated about motives, alliances, and future confrontations. Mendeecees, now facing intensified scrutiny, released a carefully constructed statement attempting to clarify the situation. Our messages were taken out of context. Intentions were never to hurt, deceive, or manipulate. I acknowledge how they may appear, but the reality is far more complex. Erica, visibly shaken, added, "My actions have always been guided by care, honesty, and respect. The public perception does not fully reflect our intentions or the emotional complexity of the situation." Family members, already emotionally invested, became even more vocal, with some taking sides, others pleading for understanding, and a few attempting to mediate. Private conversations, once discreet, now carried immense pressure, as any misstep could be amplified and interpreted in the public sphere. Yandy decided to confront the situation head-on with a live session, speaking directly to fans about the emotional toll, the heartbreak, and the challenges of navigating betrayal under constant scrutiny. Her words were a mixture of vulnerability, anger, and resolve, resonating widely and further fueling public discussion. Mendeecees and Erica, aware of the session, prepared statements to respond thoughtfully, hoping to balance accountability with personal privacy. The tension in the narrative escalated as each interaction, each subtle gesture, and each carefully considered word became material for speculation, debate, and emotional investment. The drama spilled into social media feeds, casual conversations, and family discussions, creating a continuous feedback loop that magnified the stakes. Every glance, every pause, and every whispered comment was analyzed for meaning, intention, and emotional weight. The unfolding events transformed what began as personal heartbreak into a sprawling public spectacle. The interplay of private emotion, public perception, and social scrutiny created a high-stakes drama that captivated audiences, dominated conversations, and left fans desperate to see what would happen next. Heartbreak, loyalty, love, and the consequences of public scrutiny intertwined, producing an endlessly compelling, unpredictable, and emotionally charged saga. Anticipation for the next revelation, confrontation, or moment of reconciliation remained electric. The story had transcended ordinary drama, evolving into a full-blown reality TV phenomenon, promising more shocking developments, more emotional confrontations, and more unforgettable moments in the lives of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica. Every action, every word, every gesture contributed to an ever-expanding narrative that captivated hearts, minds, and social feeds, ensuring the saga's dominance in public discourse for weeks to come. And now, after witnessing the shocking and utterly unforgettable events unfold in this saga, it's time for you to reflect, react, and become part of the conversation that has captivated the world. You've seen the heartbreak, the betrayal, the carefully orchestrated public statements, the leaked voicemails, the private confrontations, and the emotional confrontations that have left hearts shattered and fans divided. This story is more than just headlines, screenshots, or viral clips. It is a glimpse into the complexity of human relationships, the consequences of choices made in love and conflict, and the relentless scrutiny that comes with living life under the public eye. Every twist, every emotional exchange, every carefully considered gesture, and every word spoken, written, or leaked has contributed to a narrative that is larger than life, one that blends heartbreak, loyalty, ambition, and passion into a spectacle that cannot be ignored. Now it is your moment to weigh in. What do you think about the choices made by Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy? Do you empathize with Yandy's heartbreak, or do you understand the difficult position Mendeecees and Erica found themselves in? Maybe you feel conflicted, torn between anger, sorrow, and understanding. Your perspective is valuable because it contributes to the broader conversation, turning this story from a passive spectacle into an interactive discussion where every voice matters. Comment below with your thoughts, your insights, and your reactions. Share how you would have handled similar situations, what lessons you draw from these events, and how you perceive the balance between private decisions and public consequences. Your input is part of what keeps the conversation alive, part of what transforms these personal dramas into cultural phenomena that engage, inform, and captivate millions of viewers across the globe. Don't hesitate to engage with the content in a meaningful way. Like the video if you were shocked, heartbroken, or deeply moved by the events you've just witnessed. Your likes not only help support the channel but also show that you are part of the larger community, following every twist, every revelation, and every dramatic turn. Share the video with friends, family, and social circles who are invested in reality TV drama, human emotion, and sensational stories that leave no heart untouched. Sharing sparks conversation, spreads awareness, and ensures that this saga continues to resonate with a wider audience, creating connections between viewers who, like you, are captivated by the intricate web of relationships, betrayal, and raw emotion. Subscribe to the channel now to make sure you never miss a beat. The story of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy is far from over. There are more revelations, more confrontations, and more emotional moments yet to unfold. By subscribing, you ensure that you are at the forefront of every update, every leak, and every public interaction, witnessing firsthand the drama that has gripped the hearts and minds of fans worldwide. Turn on notifications to receive instant alerts when new videos drop so that you can react, comment, and be part of the conversation in real time. Your engagement fuels the ongoing narrative, keeping the story alive and allowing you to participate actively in a drama that is as much about human emotion as it is about public spectacle. Beyond watching, commenting, liking, and sharing, take a moment to reflect on the lessons embedded within this saga. Consider the consequences of choices made in love and conflict, the impact of public scrutiny on private lives, and the resilience required to navigate heartbreak while maintaining dignity, strength, and authenticity. Think about empathy, understanding, and the ways in which communication, honesty, and timing shape relationships. Your perspective, when shared, can provide clarity, insight, and support not only for the individuals involved in this story but also for other viewers who may relate to the emotions, conflicts, and decisions displayed here. This is your chance to contribute meaningfully to a story that has captured attention, dominated discussions, and created a shared experience for a global audience. Every comment, every reaction, and every engagement is a thread in the fabric of this cultural phenomenon, weaving together millions of perspectives into a collective reflection on love, betrayal, loyalty, and the human experience. Remember, your voice matters. Whether you express shock, anger, empathy, or curiosity, your engagement helps shape the ongoing narrative, influence public perception, and ensure that these stories continue to resonate beyond the screen. Join the conversation, stand with the community, and become an active participant in the unfolding drama. The saga of Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy is far from concluded. The heartbreak, the confrontations, the reconciliations, and the shocking revelations will continue to captivate audiences. But it is your engagement that gives the story life, amplifies the impact, and ensures that every moment resonates with viewers across the globe. So don't wait. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Engage with every emotional twist, every dramatic turn, and every unexpected revelation. Be part of the story, be part of the community, and most importantly, be part of the conversation. Your reaction matters, your opinion counts, and your voice helps define the legacy of a saga that has already become unforgettable. Join the millions who are watching, discussing, and reacting in real time. Contribute to the drama, contribute to the discussion, and ensure that you are part of every unforgettable moment that unfolds. Now is your chance to take action, to participate, and to make your presence known. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and don't miss a single moment of what promises to be an ongoing journey of heartbreak, loyalty, love, and sensational drama that will continue to shock, captivate, and move audiences worldwide. Your engagement ensures that the story lives on, that the conversations never cease, and that you are forever part of this unforgettable high-stakes saga.